Ray from
We honour the First Peoples of Australia, their unbroken ties to Aboriginal law, culture and customs. We respect the traditional owners of the lands and waters we inhabit and acknowledge their elders past and present. We celebrate the enrichment of Aboriginal communities around Australia. We recognise the lasting impact of colonisation and dispossession. We salute those who have fought for the rights of First Peoples. Their legacy is our guiding light today and always.
I can't take it anymore!
Good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good morning, blurtsters, wherever you are around the world. You are listening to the new Blurt.
You absolutely are listening to the new Blurt. Good evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you may be in this wide land of ours and around the globe. In Oz at the moment, in Melbourne, or in Naarm, if you like, First Nations pronunciation, Melbourne, Naarm. It's 13 past 8 on a Tuesday evening, about the 17th of June. Hi, I'm Keely, aka the Kegsta. I'm coming to you from the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people, part of the Kulin Nation. Sovereignty was never ceded, always has been, and always will be Aboriginal land. As usual, if you've ever listened to this show before, you'll know we have a cracker of one for you. And tonight, we've got a little bit of homework. Just want to get a couple of errors out of the way from last week's show, which is available now on all your best podcasting apps and maybe your worst ones as well. And you can get it at Substack as well on the new blurt.substack.com. Blurt around the world, we've got global hot takes. Polly want a cracker? How about tap water? We're just going to check that one. It sounds like someone's not just parroting old habits. They're hydrating smart. Yeah, sorry about that. Need a sad trombone sometimes. Anyway, plants on the moon. Talk about out of this world horticulture. We're rooting for them to take hold. Well, not sure about that one. Anyway, new data shows daylight savings is good for the economy and for the society. And as you can tell from our title, that's what we're talking about. Wencee's going to talk about that one for us. You'll find out who he is very, very soon. Looks like an extra hour daylight really does make us shine economically as well as physically. Time to spring forward with a joy, which brings us to asshole of the week. And seriously, who else? When it comes to being a whopper of a jerk, just stand out from the flock. Who is the person that comes to mind? Well, I'll let you be the guess. Have your own guess, which will come very, very soon. I'll give you a little tip though. Orange is involved. Great people that did stuff. Fantastic, great people that did stuff tonight. There's a true good Samaritan helping the homeless in Hervey Bay. Wencee's got that's a really cool one because that's quite local and slightly different to what we do in Great People that did stuff. A lot of times we do sort of very much historic things, but Wencee has done a little spin on that, which is really cool. I am doing Lise Meitner, who is the woman behind the bomb, and she helped split the atom, and that's a fantastic story. So hang in for that one. That's an absolute beauty. Across the Dutch, we'll finish with New Zealand government launches the fully electric ferry. It's making waves in sustainable transport. What a great idea. Yeah, again, sorry about that. The New Zealand housing crisis and what's happening now, the market's been a bit dire, but new initiatives are certainly building momentum for change down there in New Zealand. So we're going to have a look at that as well. But before we go any further, I have to do this because co-hosters were the mostest.
I'm waiting for it.
What's I?
There we go. Yes, thank you, Rent the Crowd. Oh, like join in the applause too.
Thank you, my subjects, my loyal subjects. Before I commence, I do want to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the land in which we gather today, the Turrbal and Yuggera peoples. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all First Nations people here today, listening or watching. Yes.
Fantastic. So how's your week been, Wencee, since last time we spoke?
Thawing out, because last week I was freezing. I don't know about you guys in Melbourne. I don't need to ask because it's winter down there.
Well, used to it. I mean, it's
Yeah,
cold.
exactly.
It just is.
Yeah, exactly.
You expect it. It's not a
question, is it?
No, it's just it is, and it's 9 degrees. So there you
exactly. And you're fully over your COVID?
Well, as my name says there, COVID is still a bitch. I'm still not fully over it. I've got this little cough thing. I mean, I said to you a few weeks ago that I read that it said it takes 2 weeks, it could be 2 weeks to get over the cough. And it's still, excuse me, it's annoying. It's really annoying. My boss at work is still not quite right. My other colleague will not be coming in this week. No one's going to be coming in from my team this week. We're going to wait till next week because, there's quite a bit going on. And,
Well, my sister who works at one of the hospitals in, is it Elizabeth Street? No, in Carlton, North Melbourne. What's that precinct called?
Carlton.
Yeah, you got all those hospitals there.
Yeah. That's Carlton. Yeah, that's Carlton.
Peter Mac and is it the Royal Melbourne Hospital?
Yeah, absolutely. That's Carlton.
Yeah, so my sister works in one of those, and she's been given the higher recommendation, and also in some cases, depends on the department, you must wear masks again because the COVID is going rampant in Melbourne. So especially in the cancer wards.
It's horrible, isn't it? It's so horrible. And we talked about it on this show the other week too.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I said, unfortunately, it is back.
So mask up if you haven't. If you're not, do
it. Good call. You heard it first from the new blurt. I mean, I keep wearing mine all the time on the public transport. So
yeah, I need to find some masks because it is increasing here, but nowhere near the numbers that you guys down south have. But
well, you've got 5 million in your whole state that is about, I don't know, 7 times as big as ours physically, and we've got 5 million in the town.
Yeah. So well, it's almost 6 now, isn't it? In Melbourne.
Yeah, I think it's 7 in all of Victoria, which considering how small it is, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
But the rest of the world is probably not that big. I mean, it's quite a big city, but I mean, there's only 2 million in the rest of Victoria, so you can tell where everyone is, So, exactly. But anyway, okay. So next.
We don't need no education.
Homework, thank you. And
I got the wrong media or the wrong text. I was just on autopilot. It's like
I noticed. I did notice. That's why I did say homework a few times. But anyway, so the homework is last week we talked about a poor old 9 reporter that was getting pummeled by rubber bullets. Oh wow, that's very bad of me. I should have had that stinger. Rubber bullets. I should have had that up. I really should have. Oh, it's come on, Keely. I know the band. Oh, it's not Stephen Band.
Anyone listening out there, if you do know who that was,
I think it's 10cc. I think it is CCC. I think it's 10cc.
Okay.
I think it is. I could be wrong, but I think it is. Anyway, she was hit by them. And we had intimated on the show that we talked about Marines and National Guard and whatever because they'd been called out. But that was very incorrect of us. It's 100% illegal for them to really do anything other than stand there. They don't have any jurisdiction to do anything unless they are fired upon or something happens or whatever. Right. But otherwise, there is nothing they can do. So she was shot by the LAPD police.
Right. Okay.
That's who she was shot by. So I just wanted to, just wanted to correct that from last week.
Good clarification, because
Yes.
I was under the impression, that was one of the Marines or the who are the other mobs?
National Guard.
The National Guard.
Yeah. No, definitely
Yeah,
wasn't.
okay.
It was definitely the LAPD.
LAPD.
So now we've done that. Now we'll do this.
Blurt around the world, around the world, around the world, around the world.
So Polly wants a cracker or a drink from a tap. What's going on, Wencee? Talk to me.
Well, researchers have released some video footage on sulfur-crested cockatoos in Western Sydney that have learnt how to operate your little water fountains where you've got to turn the handle.
Oh yeah.
Like your bubblers, we call them bubblers up in here.
Yeah, we always called them bubblers when I was a kid. Yeah.
So they've worked out that, because we know birds and cockies in particular, and all those parrots,
Super smart.
very smart. But
Super smart.
through observations, these cockies have learned how to sit on the fountain thingy and then turn with one foot the little handle, and then drink out of the water that spurts out. And I've got a little video here to show you on how they've done it.
I'm not surprised by that at all. I saw a Kia when I was in New Zealand a while ago.
The car.
Sorry?
The car, Kia.
No, it's a parrot.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Where's my buruntish?
Yes. No, you deserve a sad trombone for that. That was a hardcore dad joke. But anyway.
Yeah, you saw a Kia.
Yes, I did see a Kia. Because they have Kia, Kaka, and something else. All their parrots start with K.
Yeah,
mainly because they're all Mulderine named. Whereas they're like, blah blah cockatoo and the diddy da and the blee blee blee, where there's all Murray and they're all K. So it's Kaka, Kia, and there's another one, and for the life of me, I can't. Oh, the Kakapo. That's it. Yeah.
Great sounding names.
Yeah, they are. They are nearly as good as that bird that.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of that. I'm hoping you remember it.
It's it's a pukeki or something.
Pukeki.
Yeah, the
Keki.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, it is definitely something like that. Pukeki. It is something very much like that. But anyway, yeah. So it's Kaka, Kia, and Kakapo. Anyway, these were Kias, I believe, and yes, they're super smart. All part of the parrot family. They're super smart. And the way they got fed their apple was they had to stand on a it was like a little mini platform.
Oh yeah.
They'd stand on it, and it would depress when they stood on it. And when they stood on it, it would open a box. And when they opened that box, it was full of apple.
Right.
So what they would do is they would stand on it, get the apple, come back, stand on it, get the apple. Then I watched one of them, and it went, "Oh, stuff this. I'm a bit smarter than that. I'm just going to stand here, stay here, and just keep eating apple." So, so that's what it did. But they're super duper smart. The parrot family, no doubt about it. So yeah, looking forward to seeing a bit of show and tell. Excellent.
All right, here we go. All right. Okay, here we go. You can see, just see him turning the the little handle on with one foot, ever so slightly.
Oh, how cool is that? Oh, yeah, it's different.
It goes. You can see the water dripping on the side, at the face. It's so clever. Neverland, you don't have to spin it too much, do you?
No. Just need to just move it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. For
Isn't it?
anyone listening on the pod, we are watching a cockatoo getting water out of a bubbler. It's quite cool, but Wencee will have the link in the show notes anyway.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was cool, Wencee.
Yeah.
Very
So the study was done by a team, an international team, a behavioral ecologist that's affiliated with Max Planck Institute and the University of Vienna. That's Dr. Barbara Klump. Also, Dr. Lucy Applin from the ANU, Australian National University, and Dr. John Martin, a senior ecologist at EcoShore and honorary researcher at Western Sydney University. They've been studying them for a while, and they caught that and went, "Oh, this is so cool." I thought it was quite cute and funny and very clever of them. Love it.
No, 100% agree. It is very clever of them, and something else I suppose it's quite clever, but I'm still not quite sure if I'm on board or not. The Australian scientists aiming to grow plants on the moon. So, in short, a team of Australian scientists have until the end of the year to perfect technology they hope will allow plants to survive a trip to the moon and then grow on the moon's surface. Because in the back of my mind, I'm going, is that because you fucked the Earth? Is that why? Is that why you're looking? Have you just gone, oh, it's all too hard. Fuck it, we'll just go to the moon? Is that what's happening?
That's going to be some very expensive bok choy. Would you like a bit for your chicken soup? That'll be $1 million, thanks.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Very good indeed.
And so what are these guys aiming to do?
Look, I'll let you know a couple of things here. So the project's being headed by an Australian company, and it'll be the first in a series of missions to help create a sustainable outpost on the moon. It's called the Lunaria 1, and it's a biomodule containing seeds and plants that will be mounted on the lunar lander. Now, obviously, I'll have this link for the show notes, but I'm not going to show any show and tell on this one because we've got a lot to get through. The objectives is test plant survival in low gravity, 1/6 of the Earth's in harsh lunar conditions, sustainable human outposts on the moon, and obviously potential applications for growing food in extreme environments on Earth. So good. They haven't totally given up on Earth yet. That fills me with a little bit of hope, which is good. The weight limit, the entire payload has to be under 500 grams. So tiny, really tiny. Survival risks are extreme vibrations, radiation, temperature fluctuations, and module breach. And the plants have only 72 hours to sprout before lunar daytime temperatures become lethal. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, they've got a bit against them. It's an interesting one. They're putting lichens up there. That they're testing lichens. That's what they have chosen because they're meant to be more resilient as a plant species. So, radiation exposure test conducted at Lucas Heights. That's a nuclear lab, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yep, exactly right. Sydney. Lucas Heights Nuclear Lab. And no guarantee, obviously, the plant will survive, obviously. Funded by a $3.5 million grant by the Australian Space Agency. Didn't even know we had one. First in a series of missions to support long-term lunar habitation. As I say, I really hope they haven't given up on the Earth. So some of the highlights, the project lead, life is very resilient. We've chosen species on purpose that have a lot of resilience. And Professor Caitlin Burt, the biologist, a little sprout growing. That's what I dream of. It's a human story of exploration. Australia is a part of that. That's Dr. Tim Crane. The finalized prototype was the end of 2024. So it's all all speed ahead on this one, which is interesting.
Yeah,
As I
very
say,
interesting.
the links will be in the show notes if you want to know a bit more, and you probably might. It's quite an interesting story.
Mm.
Um,
The
yeah,
Australian Space Agency was created by the federal government in 2018, so it would have been under one of the Liberal
yeah. Well, that would have
Liberal
been
leaders.
ScoMo.
Yeah,
No,
it
when
would
did
have been.
when did
ScoMo
ScoMo
was
take over?
2019, 2020
Yeah, so it
during
would have
COVID, so
been
it could have been
Malcolm.
him.
Would have been Malcolm.
He or Malk.
Yeah, because ScoMo didn't take. Yeah, ScoMo didn't take over until almost COVID.
Mm,
He was only there for
okay.
one term,
Yeah,
and we all went, "You are a prick," and so
yeah,
he got voted out.
yeah, exactly. I'm trying to forget
Uh,
about him. I don't know why I brought up his name. Anyway,
yes, true.
carry on, carry on.
Get off the grass now. Okay. So now? I think the next one is you, my friend.
It is
Yes.
sticking with New South Wales, aka Lucas Heights.
Oh,
The New South Wales government has revealed that daylight savings can actually significantly influence our evening activities, including transportation choices and economic engagement. So they compared data from weeks surrounding the end and start of daylight savings, um, excluding public holidays, to assess the changes in behaviour during those periods. In the week beginning 7th of April 2024, immediately after the daylight savings ended, there was almost 15% decrease in nighttime public transport trips, dropping from an average 450,000 in the final week of daylight savings to 383 trips. So that's big markdown. Um, Economic activity that so during the period it also decreased. So after daylight savings ended, and then when
the consumption went down.
so people, because they weren't going out, they weren't spending, and so the economy shrunk
Shrunk.
a little bit. And then vice versa, at the opposite end, when daylight savings started up again 6 months ago, just over now, late last year, they saw the numbers in reverse. So the week prior to daylight savings starting, there was low activity in all sectors. The week after, it increased by roughly around the same 15%. So for me, that just proves to the Queensland government, get off your fucking ass and introduce daylight savings. It's good for the economy.
Yes, well, I think you were right there. I think you're spot on.
So yes, so yes, they're a Labor government who did this research, but it is a state government, and they have proven that there is a lot of benefit with daylight savings being introduced.
What is it about the farmers' situation up there? Because aren't they the ones that are really stopping it?
Possibly. They probably complain about the cows won't know when to eat because they don't know they don't understand daylight savings. The age-old the curtains
Somehow I
will
think they think
fade
they're
quicker.
way dumber than cows are. Cows are really
Yeah,
smart.
yeah. In comparison, yeah. When you put things like that up for debate, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I would think so as well. Oh, one thing I was going to say about that though, if that's the way that we're still measuring, which obviously we still are, consumption and the economy and all the rest of it, we got to find a better way because we can't
Mm,
just keep consuming. I mean,
no, no,
the Earth isn't infinite, and we know
no.
that and know this.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
it's not just the economy that is beneficial because the daylight lasts a bit longer. It actually gets people outside more as well. So rather than being stuck indoors, and they get a bit extra daylight, they get the vitamin D. They stay out. They might do exercise more often during the
There's
daylight hours. Daylight savings.
opportunity for more volunteering too.
Exactly. Correct.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
So it's not all about spending, but
yeah,
that is an easy measure.
yeah.
But yeah, it does get people out.
Yeah, no, definitely. Something else that gets people out.
You're listening to Asshole of the Week.
Now, it won't surprise anyone who listens to this show at any time who the asshole of the week is.
Is it a regular contributor to this show?
Yes. It was very regular over the last couple of years, but not as regular this year.
Only because we've been trying to ignore it.
Correct, but it's impossible to ignore at the moment.
It is.
So I thought I would just, because we've got heaps to get through tonight, I thought I would just go through a couple of things. Now, last year we were talking about, there was a case in particular that I had talked about when we did Trump Watch, how much the interest was going up, and we had a counter.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I'd done a bit of digging and a bit of research, and what I've done is I've got the top 10 cases that are still against him at the moment, just to show how much of an arsehole he is. So what we've got is the New York civil fraud case, and that's the big one where in early 2024, a judge ruled Trump and his companies liable, ordering to pay $354.8 million.
Wow.
And that was the one where it was going up all the time if he hadn't paid it, because even though he's appealing, he still has to pay the bond until, well, he has to pay until he wins the case and gets the money back, but he still has to pay.
Yeah.
So I thought I might just take it to the listeners' relevance that commanderindebt.com, commander in debt, which is one word, and I have definitely got this link, and it definitely will be in the show notes. What I might do, I might just share that for a second, and then you can have a look. So I just pop that up there, and then you can see. So for anyone listening on the pod, commanderindebt.com, you can have a look yourself. The total judgments were $442 million, but because it hasn't been paid, there's a total interest of $182 million, and it's going up all the time. So right now he owes $625 million.
Jeez, it's going to get to $1 billion soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, apparently he keeps making billions off his meme coin bullshit, but I'd love to see him realize it. So, it keeps talking about it, but I'd love to see him realize it. Anyway, so that's one. Another one is Jean Carroll defamation battery case. We talked about this last year as well. And because he kept defaming her, in the end, she went, stuff this, and she won a separate defamation case of $83.3 million.
That's right.
So tack that onto the 625, so he's up to 700. Plus, I think there's an extra $5 million on top of that $83.3 million. And apparently he denied it again this year, just in June.
Yeah, of course.
He's had, what else he's got? American Bar Association versus the Trump administration. The ABA challenged his orders, his executive orders that sanctioned certain law firms. I don't know if you know about this, but he's been sanctioning certain law firms, which means if they don't do a certain thing, he will not allow them to operate, and they're private, he will not allow them to operate in the White House, for the White House, in different areas. He's just, so they claiming they threatened legal independence. 3 orders have been unconstitutional, and a 4th case remains pending. So that means he's lost all of those. And Harvard University versus Trump administration. Case is ongoing. Harvard's seeking to restore funding. Democracydocket.com, theguardian.com, if you want to have a look a bit more on that one. A lawsuit filed in February 2025 is pending in the US District Court for the Northern District of California. This was a multiple LGBTQ organizations challenged his executive orders that's affecting their funding programs. There is another one down here. Trump's efforts
because they're too woke.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Trump's efforts to dismiss 2,000 federal employees face legal challenges. A federal judge temporarily blocked the administration's plans, citing potential violation of workers. Emergency Supreme Court cases. The Trump administration filed 19 emergency requests to the Supreme Court to counter lower court rulings. The court ruled in Trump's favor on 9 times. But you got to remember how corrupt that court is. So if you get 9 out of it, you're doing well. And then North Carolina redistricting trial. Republican-drawn district maps are challenged as illegal racial gerrymanders. The trial began recently with a ruling expected after August. Now, if you want to know about, if you want to know about any other litigation that he might be going through at the moment, and he's going through quite a few. 296 active cases, including 7 suits by the Trump administration challenging state law, 38 dismissed suits or appeals, 10 Supreme Court stays, 1 Supreme Court affirmation of lower court order, and 12 suits where judges granted summary judgment or a permanent injunction. Wow. I've also got a link that will be in the show notes as well, and it is the litigation tracker. So if you're at all interested in the trials, not so many tribulations, but definitely the trials of DJT, aka Orange Head, have a look, and you can see how much he owes as well. So there you go.
Not that I don't think anyone's ever going to see that money, but it's
good to know. I think it may happen when he gets out.
Yeah, and a lot of those civil ones he can't do anything about from a federal perspective.
No. I reckon he will have to pay them at some stage. I think because he can't pardon himself from a civil.
No, I don't think he can, unless he changes all the constitution and whatever else he wants to do, the dictator. But yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I lost everything there for a second. Totally everything.
Oops-a-daisy.
Couldn't see a thing. Couldn't see anything. No, I could hear the whole time. I couldn't see anything. But anyway, with that, we'll go to a break. We will be back with great people that did stuff.
The Australia Institute produces high-quality research that has real-world impact, whether it's revealing the $10.3 billion in fossil fuel subsidies provided by federal and state governments last year, or our long-standing research advocating for a federal anti-corruption commission with real teeth. We change minds. To donate, head on over to australiainstitute.org.au.
Hi, it's Ashley Fizame here, and you're listening to the new Blurt with Wencee and Kegsta.
Hi, and welcome to Great People That Did Stuff.
Okay, alrighty. So on Great People That Did Stuff, as you mentioned earlier in the intro, I am going to stay local and current. As you said, often we do talk about people in the past, but this time I thought this is quite important. We all know how bad the housing crisis is in Australia, and the homelessness is getting worse as the months go by, and still no recovery in sight. We're still waiting on Labor to create all those social housing that they promised in the last term and also for this term. So some people are doing what they can. One particular person in Harvey Bay, a retiree by the name of Josie Street, um, she was often seeing homeless people out on the streets in the parks of Harvey Bay, and so she decided to do something about it. She packed a car full of food and clothes and blankets and cleaning toiletries and that type of stuff, and started visiting the homeless around town. She's now supplying all these supplies twice a week, up to about 70 people um, during that time each week, so twice a week. She has founded a group called J&T Supporting Homeless. So I believe that's her and her husband who set that up. So they're now looking for donations of whatever people can give, food wise and things like that, things that can be easily stored and given to the homeless. And yeah, so she's doing the rounds in Harvey Bay, because in Harvey Bay the vacancy rate from the rental vacancy rate is 0.9%, which is super low. So there's
Jesus, wow.
there's
So
hardly any
there's nothing
stock.
available, but I'm assuming there's more people wanting to rent than
Wanting,
there are properties.
correct. And because it's a landlord market, then the prices aren't going down or stable. They just keep going up, excuse me, and up and up and up. So really, I just quickly wanted to show you who she is. So let me just go and share a screen when it decides to come up. So there is Josie. So I don't know if you can see my mouse moving there, but she's carrying the esky there. So she loads up her car. You can see there she's got all sorts of stuff that are pre-packaged. And so she goes out twice a week. There she is, a bit more of a close-up.
And how old is she?
Good question. I don't know.
She looks
retired,
70 odd.
so
She looks
I'd say
70 plus.
something. Yeah. So she's helping out all the homeless in the area. So here you can see there's a graph there for the Queensland rental vacancy rates. It hit a high of 2.1% back at the start of COVID, and has just gotten worse ever since. So there she is helping out some people, some families. So she's not the only one who does volunteer work in Queensland or across the nation, in fact. 69-year-old Leslie Kelly has been volunteering with Orange Sky. Not sure if you know who or what Orange Sky is, but that was...
I would like just to put an adjunct in there. My other half works for Orange Sky.
That's right, you do. I did know that.
And I know the CEO of Orange Sky, and
young,
I know
young bloke too.
He is really young, and he's from Queensland, as you know.
Yeah, it started in Brisbane from memory.
Yeah. He's got one in New Zealand now too.
Oh, they expanded. Yeah, so they do laundry services. I'm not sure if they do anything else.
No. So the idea is that they are self-generated dryers and washers inside a truck. That's what he first started with, and now he has, as you say, multiple around the country. I think he's got one in every state, I believe.
I think so, and also showers for the homeless to I guess shower on a regular basis.
Where they do it here, and I think this is the whole idea as a rule, is what they do is they rock up with their truck in an area where the homeless, or they like to call them friends, the friends come to the truck, but they're in the vicinity of being able to get a free meal and maybe a wash at the same time.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's great.
So, i.e., they might be in front of a church or sort of some community sort of house as well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So they can sort of get the whole one-stop shop type thing.
Yeah.
And the
so
one thing, sorry,
no, you
apologize.
go.
I just the one thing that is really, really cool about this is, unfortunately, how much domestic abuse with, women fleeing, etc., etc. And this sort of stuff is a godsend. And some of the stories that Ness has come back with
Yeah.
have been,
Over
enlightening to say the least. So,
the last decade or two, I'm sure the female homelessness has increased significantly,
over
whereas in the
60s, big
past,
time.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty sad it's got to that level.
It is
But
pretty dire.
yeah, Leslie Kelly, who's 69, volunteers with Orange Sky on the Sunshine Coast. So she's doing quite a lot in that respect. Great grandmother Dulcie Bogue has dedicated 44 years to volunteering at the Hutt Street Centre in Adelaide. There's also a service called Rosie's Friends on the Street in Queensland, which provides outreach services across Queensland, Brisbane, and the Gold Coast. Retirees often volunteering in that for that organisation, handing out cups of tea and having conversations and just having a good old chat with those who are on the street. In Melbourne, there's the St Mary's House of Welcome, who have 200 regular volunteers. Again, most of them retirees. So
Absolutely. I mean, I did some volunteering this weekend. We were planting and a little bit of weeding and different things in our local. And who's running it? Someone who's got to be over 80, and she's phenomenal. She's
yeah, it's
just
amazing.
just a just a firecracker. She's phenomenal. So
Yeah, it's unfortunate we're now almost relying on retirees to help the community. I guess they have more time and it gives them purpose.
yeah.
You and I are too busy to do much ourselves at the moment. Not specifically you and me, but as a general rule,
Yeah,
of us who are
but yeah, I
working.
mean, how it normally works is it's either the young or the old that are
Mm,
volunteering,
yeah.
and I mean that's why we actually at my work they actually give 2 days a year you can volunteer
Oh, awesome.
and be paid for it, which is
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah, that's a great idea.
I know it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find out a bit about that this year and find out when I can sort of volunteer type thing,
Mm,
like who I can do it for, because
yeah.
it'd be worth doing. No, I mean, yeah, we need it so badly.
Mm, yeah,
So
exactly.
and I mean, man, it's such a reward for who you're helping, but gee whiz,
Mm,
it's a reward for your own self esteem,
yeah,
as
oh,
you know.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
just amazing. It really
Yeah, I've
is.
done a bit of volunteering in Thailand. Situations there can be worse than what we experience here in Australia.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it is very rewarding when you do help out, whether it's here or other countries.
Fantastic
Yeah.
website as
So yeah,
always.
thank you, Josie Street, for all your hard work in Harvey Bay.
Absolutely. We totally thank you here from the New Blurt. We absolutely do. Another woman that's absolutely incredible. And she has been dead for a little while, but she did live to the ripe old age of 89. She was born in 1878, and her name is Lise Meitner. And she was born in Vienna to a Jewish family. And girls couldn't attend higher education at the time, so she had to study privately.
Wow.
But she earned her PhD in physics in 1906 anyway. And
1906.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I know.
That's early.
This woman is a gun. She's phenomenal. And no one really knows about her unless you do a bit of research and listen to certain things and whatever. The second woman ever to do so at the University of Vienna. She moved to Berlin, where she became the first female professor of physics in Germany, and she became a long-term collaborator with chemist Otto Hahn in 1907 at the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute. Now, we'll come back to that in a second, but the thing I want to talk about Otto Hahn, because he features in this, she actually mentored Otto Hahn. So just keep that in the back of your mind with this little story. So apparently they worked together for a long time, and they're a really, really good team. And what they discovered was in 1938, she conducted uranium experiments and found lighter elements like barium, something no one expected. She just fled Nazi Germany and she was living in exile in Sweden. So she had to make her own lab.
Jeez. I'm
And
just going to cook up a nuclear lab here in my backyard, in my garage.
Exactly right. So she had to get all of her stuff, all the experimental data, etc., was mailed to her from Hahn, because he, I believe, was still in Germany at the time. And she and her nephew, physicist Otto Frisch, worked through it all in secret. And what they realized was they'd split the atom.
Wow.
So,
Amazing.
nuclear fission. So, but the thing with her is that she didn't have a destructive bone in her body. So she didn't want to have anything to do with the nuclear bomb.
Mm.
She was just fully interested in the physics and the chemistry of it all. And they published a paper in 1939 that explained the whole theoretical mechanism of it. There's lots of links here. I'll make sure there's links in the show notes. Also, I will talk just at the end. There's a really good podcast that you can listen to on this if you don't want to do heaps and heaps of reading, because it will basically put you in the right frame. Now, we talked about Otto Hahn before. In 1944, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in chemistry. Sorry, the Nobel Prize in chemistry. Alone,
not the other collaborators.
Alone. And she was not even mentioned. He didn't mention her at his speech. And the Nobel Committee correspondence shows no serious discussion of including her. So how freaking patriarchally bullshit is that? Apparently, she was nominated, I believe, 19 times.
Wow.
But she never won it.
0 times.
Bullshit. So, but apparently also, Otto Hahn gave a lot of his winnings to her. He didn't give her any public adulation or any public recognition. But behind the scenes, he knew he was a prick. And so therefore, he gave her a lot of the winnings. But that's not good enough. Public recognition.
He had some guilt, but didn't do anything meaningful.
Didn't have enough balls. That's what it was. And the friendship never recovered, as you could probably imagine. But she never attacked him publicly, and she never said any bad word about him publicly. As the Nazis rose to power, obviously she's Jewish. That's a problem. So that's when she fled to Sweden. As I said to you, she had to set up her own lab. When they discovered nuclear fission, she was invited to work on the Manhattan Project. And she said, I will have nothing to do with a bomb. But the worst part is, Time magazine came out and called her the mother of the atom bomb.
Of course.
How happy do you think she was?
No,
she
extremely angry, and
she was absolutely horrified. And she just fled the Nazis, and now her work was being used to build nuclear weapons. She was not happy about it at all. As I said, sorry, Wencee, you were going to say something?
No, I just said terrible.
Oh, no, it's shocking. She lived to 89, and so she died in 1968. In 1997, element 109 was named Meitnerium in her honor.
So which element was that one? Did you say?
109.
109, cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Today, she's a symbol of brilliance, overlooked, as I said, because, I mean, gee whiz, I've never heard of it. I did know about nuclear fission. I did know about splitting the atom, but do you think I ever heard her name anywhere?
No, because the history books were written by white men.
That's correct. Old white men, usually. And the injustice of women often face in science. Yes, just seen it so many times. So many times. I believe some incredible archaeologists and paleontologists, I believe. The first really, really good ones were women, but we know bugger all about them.
Yeah.
Again, you've got to dig into this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Pardon the pun.
yeah, pardon the pun. That was well done, wasn't it? I hadn't even realised. Poet, I did not. Einstein called her Marie Curie. Maybe the world is now finally catching up. Her gravestone in England reads, "A physicist who never lost her humanity." So she split the atom, but history tried to split her from the credit. She wasn't just brilliant, she was ethical, resilient, and she stood for science, and she stood alone.
Yeah. She stood for what was right.
She did. She's amazing.
Than, destroy humanity.
Absolutely. Yeah. Amazing. Absolutely amazing woman. So, the thing I was going to tell you, the podcast is called Cautionary Tales. You can find it anywhere. The host is called Tim Harford. He's an economist, but he's also an amazing storyteller, and he's written multiple books. And if you're at all interested, I highly recommend that podcast. It's a fantastic one. I think it's called The Woman That Split the Atom. I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
The podcast. But it's on Cautionary Tales. We'll have the link in the show notes anyway, but it is an absolute cracker. Talking about a cracker, we have Across the Dutch. So we got to crack on.
Sesh, opportunity to smoke marijuana. Janabar, speed bump, ute. Like, stop stealing my chips, you scab.
Yo, Wolf. Wencee and the Kegsta on Across the Dutch on New Zealand. Happy landing.
You absolutely are with Wencee and the Kegsta. And I just want to talk about, it's funny because I'm talking about housing as well, Wencee, I was talking about it before. So the Okahuni housing problem, local families are finding it hard to find affordable, stable housing in New Zealand. And this is the Maori communities in particular. Many whānau, which means families, face poor conditions, erratic housing and multi-generational living due to lack of options. Sounds a bit First Nationsy to me. Yeah. While ski season exacerbates the problem, growing year-round adventure tourism further limits the rental availability. The Ngāti Rangi's vision, they completed the first phase of 4 new 3-bedroom affordable rentals. These homes were built on land acquired through their treaty settlement provisions, which I wonder if that's in trouble at all, considering that this new mob over there, the government, are always trying to tinker with the Waitangi Treaty and the way that it's sort of laid out. I know they're trying to get sort of more rights for the white men inside that, although they've got heaps already. Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure how that's turning out, but I have seen some things in last few days regarding what the ACT Party is doing in New Zealand, and obviously none of it's good.
No. I've even heard some parliamentarians got banned from Parliament because they did a haka in during a session in government.
Why can't you do that?
I don't know. I thought it'd be good because it's adversary, isn't it?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, to try to scare off your opposition.
Yeah.
But anyway,
tenants receive rental discounts averaging 20% of market rates adjusted household income. The strategic locations, the homes are being built on land purchased in Raupo and Te Ararewa lanes within the culturally significant Korokio subdivision on.
Glad it's you trying those.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. On Kowhai Street, the Korokio area holds deep importance to local Maori, providing unique habitats and traditional resources. Some of the funding is coming from the New Zealand government. They've got $2.93 million from the Hikuku Keying a fund for Maori-led housing
I shouldn't
projects.
laugh because of the names, but it sounds funny.
And 1.52 million for the Maori Infrastructure Fund. It's a beautiful language. It really is lovely.
I'm sure it is.
If you want to hear heaps of it, there is a fantastic podcast called The Change of New Zealand, I think it's called. The Change in New Zealand or something. And they speak Maori on that all the time. And it's beautiful. It's really nice.
As an aside, does Ness speak Maori?
No, but she's tried to. She's tried to spend a bit of time learning it, etc. She was never really taught it when she was at school because it's very, very white history, when she's growing up.
True.
But nowadays, I think they learn quite a lot of it in schools. I know her niece is gutted that she can't speak Maori and almost like, what? You don't speak Maori? And she's like, no, I don't. But anyway, beyond bricks and mortar, empowering whānau and future ownership. That means family. Whānau. Whānau is family. To ensure long-term success, eligible iwi members, again, that's family too, must complete a financial literacy program run in partnership with Ka Uroa. The waiting list has a waiting list of eligible whānau family members identified through expressions of interest and their whānau aura services. Pathway to Ownership hopes to eventually help whānau transition from renting to home ownership, exploring pathways like shared equity and outright ownership. So it's good that they're trying to make a difference there. I still don't think there's anywhere near enough money, but they're doing something, I suppose.
More than what we're doing.
Yeah, that's only in a small area though. Yeah. It's just I tried to find some good news that I could find in New Zealand, and that was sort of the best I could find. So it's just all this crap was coming up, and I was like, oh no, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about the fire at
the supermarket that's happened the last
that's right.
About the government ditching Maori rights and
all that stuff.
Hopefully I can lift up the
Yes, I hope so. Well, that wasn't too bad. That was meant to be
too
good.
Bad,
that was meant to be good.
Hopefully I can just raise it just a little bit higher.
Yes, good.
And positive.
That's excellent. You've got about 5 minutes to go for it.
All right. Auckland has launched its first fully electric ferry.
Hey, there you go.
Norway and Denmark are sort of the pioneers of electric ferries, but Auckland has deployed the EV Maritime. So it was designed by EV Maritime. It's a carbon fiber composite and can reach 25 knots, which is about 46 kilometers per hour, and carries about 200 passengers.
That is really, really cool.
Yeah, you probably know this area. It will.
It's going to be Picton, I'm sure.
The ferry will primarily operate between Half Moon Bay and downtown Auckland, with the occasional trip to Devonport and Hobsonville Point.
I know where Devonport is. Devonport's quite nice. It's very well. That's a bit of an understatement. It's a very rich area.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice. Along the sea, I take it, obviously, because it's got the ferry coming in.
Yeah.
Charging stations.
That would be useless otherwise.
Well, it could be going upstream on a river, a few kilometers.
A ferry?
Probably not. Sorry, it's my brain's fried.
It's very late. It's very late. Crack on.
Charging stations, just like with cars, will be installed along the way. Takes 10 minutes to charge up and enables.
That's a big power cord.
I'm
just seeing a massive ferry. Just we just got to charge up.
Put the Energizer Bunny on. It should allow the ferry to do about 8 trips, return trips per day. It's been funded by the New Zealand government, the NZTA Waka Kotahi, and the Auckland Council.
Does the Waka start with a WH?
No. Well, possibly, but it's WAKA.
Oh, that's good, because it was WH, you'd have to pronounce it fucker, and you don't want to do it. So it's good there's no H there.
Okay,
that's good.
Okay, mental note. All right. Okay, let me compose myself.
You do. You've got about a minute.
I've got about a minute.
Yeah.
What else can I tell you about it? Okay, let me.
Have you got any show and tell?
I do.
All right. Well, you can show and tell it. That's fine, and then we'll pull that out of the audio, so that's not a problem.
Yeah. Sorry, it takes a while to get this one going. There you go. Can you see it?
Yep, sure can.
Been launched from dry dock to.
I gather there's no sound.
No, there is no sound.
No, that's fine. That's right.
But it's in time lapse, so it's moving away from where it got launched. No champagne bottle getting to launch it, to christen it.
No, they'd probably do a Savvy, wouldn't they? Just Sauvignon Blanc or something.
Possibly, yeah. Don't know what they do these days. But yeah, that's my show and tell and my across the Dutch electric ferries. Good on you.
Excellent. Oh, that's brilliant. No, well done, New Zealand. I mean, they're always a bit ahead in these sort of things because they're such a small environment that it's a really good place to test things out. And in this case, it seems like it's homegrown. They've had a lot of really good homegrown ingenuity sort of stuff. So
yeah, exactly.
They're a smart country. So they've got a dumb government, but they're a smart country. So.
Well said.
Yeah. Anyway, that is your show tonight, people. I hope you had a cracker. I know we did. It's definitely
enjoyed that one.
Goodbye from me. One thing I didn't do, and I will very quickly because I know we've got to go, is very, very soon, in a couple of weeks' time, we will have an interview with Maria Taflaga again.
Yay, she's back.
Yes, she is, from Democracy Sausage. So hang in for that one. And then a few weeks after that, we're going to have Wilhelm Strachey, who is a magnificent union representative, ex-solicitor, ex-actor, could still be acting, not sure. Anyway, she's going to be on the show, and she's got about 42,000 followers on her Instagram page. So lots of people like her, and she is an absolute favourite of ours. So to have her on the show will be very, very appreciative.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that, good night from me. See you next week. See you Wednesday.
See you next week.